The Kentucky Wildcats are able to take down the Florida Gators, a top 10 win, the third in a short tenure for Mark Pope, and we'll talk about the significance of that here in a minute. We're also going to preview the Wildcats' road matchup with the Georgia Bulldogs. That's going to be today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined by, on his cell phone because of the snow, Carson Nash. Carson, what's the weather like in the Nash household right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of snow on the ground out here, and we just got power on about 2 hours ago. We hadn't had power since 4 a.m., so we still don't have Wi-Fi, but we got the power back running, so I thought I would try to make this work.
So what are you on? Like, are you just using your phone's like 5G?
Yeah.
I can't believe that's working that well. There you go. Sweet.
Shout out AT&T.
Yeah, there you go. Way to go, AT&T. Shout out to you. That's not a sponsor, but hey, we're open ears.
No.
So Kentucky takes down Florida. Carson, do you want to know the point I knew that we were going to win this ball game?
When?
I'll tell you. So in the press box, getting set up, ready to rock and roll. Get a phone call. It's Carson Nash. So he said, "Hey, me and Jake are here. Comes, hang out by our seats for a minute." He's like, "All right, cool." Go down there, walk down, meet y'all there. Mind you, this is probably at 10:15 in the morning. And I see them walk up, double fisting Michelob Ultras. And I said, yeah, Kentucky's winning this basketball game. That's all I needed to see. I knew right then that we were going to get that win. Yeah. Any comment on that?
You have to prepare to play well, and that starts with the fans. So I think if the fans can get to that game state as well as the players, I think it's an all good oiled machine, right? And that's what we saw on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I got a follow-up question. Where does that rank on your all-time earliest alcoholic beverage drank list? Is it top 10? Top
Probably
5?
not. Probably. I have a story about one time where I went to Bloomington during college, and I stood in the line at 4 a.m. to go to a bar. So
does that count as night still?
No, it was a wake up. It was to wake up at 4. Yeah.
So that's number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. The other cool thing I've ever seen, the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life was that 7'9" dude walk by. I told you, I texted Carson. I was like,
I get a text. Andrew says, watch me when this guy walks by. You didn't even go up to his nipple. Like
I know.
He was so much. Andrew is every bit of 6'6", and he did not even go up to his nipple. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like that was one of the crazier. Like all kidding aside, like that was cool as heck to like stand next to that guy because I'm tall and I'm like, and I've never had to do that before to look up at anybody. Like even like when I'm next to like Garrison or Amari, it doesn't feel like they're like 5-6 inches taller than me. They're taller than me, but it's not like this dude. It's like looking up. I mean, you're looking straight up in the air. It was crazy. So that was
well, yeah.
cool.
When he records his first official minutes, he will then be the tallest player to ever play in college basketball.
Yeah. I still don't know. He must not be good because
did you watch him warm up?
Yeah. Yeah. But he's well put together, like muscle wise for a kid that tall.
Yeah, he is. He's filled out.
That's what I'm saying. Normally people like him are not filled out, and that's the problem. He's filled out. So I'm like, he must just not be good at basketball. Which I still believe he'd be okay just because he's 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
But so there you
go.
But
we watched him in warm-ups, and I was like, this kid isn't gonna be doing so hot early on, but he can get there.
Yeah. No kidding. But it was kind of cool though, because I've seen videos about him for years and years, and I'm like, oh, there's that guy. But and I kind of forgot about him. Like I forgot about him, and I'm like, there is a giraffe on the court, a loose giraffe. I was with you when I realized. I'm like, oh yeah, the 7'9" kid. There's a giraffe out there. But Carson, to me, this was the biggest win of the season so far. Some might say it was Duke. Some might say it was Gonzaga. I think it was this game because I think it's these SEC games are really important. It was in front of your home crowd. It was your, hey, we're here in SEC play, which is incredibly crucial as well. I think I take this win over those other two wins. Also, on top of it, just how good of a darn basketball game it was. This was a big win and a fun ball game. Carson, what were your quick thoughts, takeaways from this one?
Well, I'd say quick thoughts are Walter Clayton Jr. and was it Elijah Martin? Is that his name?
Yeah.
They were the freaking Splash Brothers.
They're good.
That's my first thought. So shout out to them. I mean, Florida played great, but here's the stat that kind of baffles me on this one. Kentucky had 147 points per 100 possessions. The Boston Celtics average 120.7 points per 100 possessions. So being able to put a performance like that together when you need it most shows how good of a coach Mark Pope is and how prepared we were going into this matchup, which was awesome to see.
First of all, this was just a fun basketball game. I mean, either side. We also learned that Florida's good and we're good. I think we learned that in this game. That was a question mark. I thought there was a chance that, hey, maybe they're going to run us out of the gym and people are going to go, Florida's damn good and Kentucky is or vice versa. These are two top 10 basketball teams in college basketball that played on Saturday. And I feel very confident saying that. My other quick thought on this is Koby Brea needs to keep shooting the basketball. My gosh. I mean, when he is able to, what I loved about that performance is he got himself open, whether with pump fakes. That was awesome because we've seen him get taken away at points this season. We've seen him get taken away where teams just eliminate him. And he wouldn't let that happen in this game as he goes for 23 points on 8 of 11 shooting, 7 of 9 from 3. So, obviously Brea included. Carson, what individual performances stood out to you?
Yeah, and out of Brea too, you saw some stuff that we haven't really seen all season, right? I mean, he attacked the basket better than he had all season in that game, and that's a plus for sure from Koby. But then, of course, I mean, his shooting is otherworldly. I mean, I haven't watched a player like that in a very long time. And the only one comparable is probably Steph Curry. So I would say that was so impressive to me. I thought Lamont had a hell of a performance. Yeah. 18 points, was it 19 points, 8 assists? That's what it was.
19 and 8 on,
but he was killer in that game.
Yeah.
Yes, and I thought we did a great job turning over their guards more than they should have turned it over. There were some key crucial stops that we got on turnovers that led to easy buckets because of Ortega and Lamont. So I thought even though we let up 100 points defensively, we made the stops when needed. And I honestly thought we only won by 6. I thought we could have won that game by more. I felt very comfortable about the game after that 16-0 run. We started off poor once again. We need to get that under control before the rest of before Tuesday, before tomorrow. But that needs to be fixed. But outside of that, I thought we played a great game.
I agree with you. I was proud of this team because there are 2 steps that must be taken to fix this starting bad. You got to start better, and you got to finish the first half well. We did one of them. We did a good job. That 16-0 run, take a 10-point lead into the half. Great. Can't complain about that. But, I mean, we were in danger zone at some points in that game early in the first half. And you got to come out better. I mean, we win this game by 30 points if we come out of the gate a little bit better. Like, that's the reality. We got to come out of the gate hotter, and we haven't done that. So, I mean, I've said it again. You're down 8 points on Tuesday or tomorrow against Georgia at half, you're going to lose. And that'll be the case for every SEC game. You got to come out of the gates hot. Proud of the way this team finished those last 10, 12 minutes of the first half. But the first, 6, 7, 8 minutes were rough, and we were in a scary spot to where I went, oh, gosh, here we go. But I was proud of that. Now, Carson, rebounding has me utterly terrified. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, they had so many second chance opportunities to the point where you're just sitting there like rebound the basketball, and it's just
33
frustrating because you're right.
second chance points.
What was that?
You're okay. By the way, just for the record, you're like
Yeah.
half a second behind me. Like
Hmm.
when you hear things, it's kind of funny. I don't know why that
Yeah.
is, but maybe it's on. I think it's.
No, it's probably because of my one bar service out here.
Well, I think no, I'm not. I'm just saying it's funny because like I'll stop, like I'll like say something and then like I'll be listening to you talking like 4 seconds.
Hmm.
I'm like I said that like 10 seconds ago, but the didn't they have 33 second chance points?
Yeah, I mean, and that's ridiculous because that completely changes the game in the aspect to where a game that probably should have been a double digit win becomes a lot closer. And so that will end up hurting you. But again, Florida is the best rebounding team in the country. And honestly, I thought you fought enough. You got down in the rebounding category
Yeah.
quick and early, and it was really bad to start off. But I thought we chipped back at it and made it more respectable. And I thought the offense was the real key point to this game. I mean, I thought this was the best offense has looked all season long, because the Gators are not a slouch defensive team at all. They're actually really good at defense. So kudos to Mark Pope and the guys because that was a hell of a performance.
I was really proud of the way that this team found a way to finish that game. You know, I mean, that's been a big key. We did a good job of that for the most part, finishing games. I'm not going to count the Ohio State game because we were kind of blown out there. But I mean, if you count games we're in it in the last 2-3 minutes, we're 3-1, and against with the wins over Florida, Gonzaga, and Duke, and then the loss to Clemson. I mean, we've done a good job in these late game scenarios. And that's what is a difference maker in the month of March. So thoroughly excited about that. We talked about Brea, we talked about Lamont. I mean, Otega-Oweh just continues to do special things. 6 of 10 from the field, made his 1 3-pointer, and it was a big one. Another 16 points from Otega-Oweh, 4 rebounds. Was really excited to see that. Also love seeing a combined 29 points between Andrew Williams and Amari Carr. I don't know how that would happen. But Andrew Carr and Amari Williams, 29 combined points, 10 combined assists. Absolutely love seeing that as well. The big men are passing the rock and scoring, and they did it efficiently. Carr 4 of 8, Williams 6 of 7. What were your thoughts on the way Amari played, Carson? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Amari had his best game in the blue and white. And I mean, there's still points where you could be like, he looks a little disinterested or whatever. But to me, that was his most complete game for us. And I was really excited about the energy that he brought. And I mean, you could see it. He went over to the bench and was getting the fans involved after big rebounds and big plays. He knows what he needs to bring to the table, and he knows where he can, like, what type of player he can become. And it's getting there, and it's going to be awesome to see.
No question. What about a big Travis Perry 3? That was exciting as well. Absolutely love to see that.
Oh, that got me fired up.
Mm-hmm. No question. No question. That was a big one. So, I mean, I think, Carson, let's move on and talk a little bit. So, big win, top 10 win. Coach Pope keeps getting the job done. Let's move on and talk a little bit about the Georgia Bulldogs. It's a new season.
Well, I'll give you a stat. I'll give you a stat real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Coach Pope is now 3-0 against top 10 teams, and it's in his 14th game, which is the quickest any UK coach has ever done that, completed that. So shout out to Coach Pope because he is exceeding expectations in his first season at Kentucky.
Was it you that sent that stat? I got it. Yeah. So he got his he won 3 AP top 10 games in 14 games. Adolph Rupp didn't do that till 34 games in. Tubby Smith did it 38. Eddie Sutton did it in 68. John Calipari did it in 75. Joby Hall 77. Rick Pitino 101 games. Billy Gillespie, of course, non-acculable, but that's a stat from the Cat Paws. But I mean, that's awesome. 14 games he did that. Just shout out to Coach Pope for making Kentucky basketball so darn exciting again. It's just a ton of fun.
Yes.
So Carson, let's get right on into Georgia. This is a game. It's a new season within a new season. It's a road game. It's the SEC, but it's our first road SEC game against a Georgia team who is not elite, but they're good. And if you show up and you don't play well, you lose. That's the reality, and it's a sad reality because Georgia, you could argue, is probably in that 13 to 16 range of the SEC, and I'm terrified to go play them on the road. Normally, that's not the reality. So, the player and the name to pay attention to for me is the freshman phenom, Asa Newell, averaging 15.4 points per contest to go with 6.9 rebounds. Carson, what are your thoughts on this kid early in his freshman season?
No, he's a stud. Those are the only thoughts you probably can have at this point. He's one of those kids that can beat you, and one of those kids that you're going to need to build a plan to stop, so he doesn't beat your team. And we're gonna have to defend well. I'd say, who are you throw on him? I'd probably put Amari on him.
I mean, I just haven't. Have you watched him play a lot? Is he a fluid big or is he more of a bruiser? I haven't watched him play a lot.
He's more of a fluid. He's fluid. He's not bulky like Amari is. He's more finesse.
Yeah, he is 220 pounds at 6'11". I mean, so you think Amari over Carr on him?
I just think Amari's quicker than Carr. I think Asa can beat you off the dribble.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid. I'll take that. You excited to see us play Somto Cyril? Former Kentucky.
Yeah, I am. I always was I was a big fan of Somto when we recruited him just because of his highlight tapes. He jumps with the best of them. So, I mean, he'll probably try to pull something crazy out of his hat tomorrow night.
So the player that I'm honestly more worried about than Asa Newell, I think that players like him, the bigs that give you 14 points a game, it's like, okay, he scores 14 points. Whatever. Like, that's fine. Like, he does that. Who cares? I'm more scared of a player that if they shoot it well, they'll put up 30. And to me, that's some of these guards. The first one I'm looking at is Dakota LeFew, 6'5" senior guard. And I mean, a guy that is averaging 12.3 points per contest on 46% shooting from the field and 40% from deep. And once again, this is not on 2 threes a game. This is on, let's pull up numbers here. 5 threes, 4, 5, 10, 2, 9, 5, 3, 8. He's shooting the three-pointer a lot. So he's shooting 40% on a solid amount of attempts. So this is a guy do you think Ortega draws that assignment or Jackson? I'd say Ortega if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'd say Ortega too.
Mm-hmm. That'll be something to monitor in this game. Who gets him? And then they've of course got Silas Demery Jr., good player, averaging about 12 points per game on the year. Had a pretty good season for them last year as a freshman. He's a good player, another good guard. They have a lot of good role-playing SEC guards, I think. They don't have a guard that I'm like shaking in my boots about playing, but they just have some darn good role-playing guards. And I think if you let a couple of them have a big night, you can lose. That's the reality here. So what Kentucky players, Carson, need to have a good showing to win this ball game, knowing what Georgia has?
I mean, I'd just say a continued success from our guys. I thought we've been playing pretty good. Everyone except I'd like to see a little more out of Jackson. Which did you see that he was in the lab late after the win against Florida? Because I feel like he's kind of in his own head right now. But outside of Jackson, I've thought everyone has played pretty solid. So just continued success. I think Koby needs to be another spark off the bench. I think it always helps when he comes in and hits a couple threes just to lighten the load a little bit from the starters. So I look to him to be the spark plug in road games off the bench.
If he could come off the bench in some road games and make a bunch of threes, it quiets a crowd.
Yeah, it helps.
If you're just a Georgia student and you don't pay a ton of attention to Kentucky basketball, and you go, why is this kid off the bench 8 of 11 from 3 right now? What is happening? Like, be that guy to hush the crowd coming in and nailing threes. Why is this bench guy have 27 points with 9 made threes? What is happening right now? Why
did he go behind the back, pump fake, and then no look 3-pointer? That was
I tried to do a Brea at the YMCA the other day, a little pump fake, and absolutely airballed. It was embarrassing. But it's funny because everyone said Brea, and I was like, gotta make it, airball. I was like so excited to let it fly because I did and Connor Hall flew by because he can't handle me, and then boom, put one up and just couldn't make it happen. But it's okay because through 3 games, you played 3 games. You'll appreciate this, Connor, or you'll appreciate this, Carson. Connor did not score one time on me down low. So next time you see him, I'm sure he knows that. We played 3 games at the High Street YMCA. And
living by that physicality we preach on the podcast. Oh, yeah. I love it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, here's the deal. I didn't score a ton, but neither did he. So we'll take that. That is called winning your matchup.
Yeah.
But I mean, Carson, I would say I'm a little. It's going to sound boring and cliche what I'm about to say, but I'm a little worried about this game. But you're going to hear me say this and then 16 more times. Because I'm going to be worried about every game we play in the SEC. Genuinely, like I don't. They're good. We don't play well tomorrow, we lose. And you don't normally say that about the 14, 15, 16, whatever best team in this conference. You just don't. So if we don't play well tomorrow, we lose. Simple as that. You got to show up with this intensity. You got to know what you're going to go into. There's going to be a hectic crowd that's angry because their football team couldn't beat Notre Dame.
Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy took him down, so they're gonna have some angry fans in there yelling. So it's gonna be a tough ball game to go in. We got to show up. We got to play well. But I think Kentucky's gonna end up winning this ball game. Carson, do you think we? I know you're gonna pick us to win. Do you think we win in a blowout, or do you think we win a tight one?
I think we win by double digits. I don't think it's a blowout, but I think at the end it'll be single digits, and then the free throws will cover it.
Okay. That's fair. I'm with you on that. But I think that's the key is they've got a lot of solid role-playing guards. Make sure that you are getting a hand in the face there. Jackson, Ortega, Lamont play well on defense. Whether it's Carr, whether it's Amari, know the type of player Asa Newell is. Stay in front of him. If he puts the ball on the ground, don't let him blow by you. That's what you got to do with this basketball team. If you do that, I think Kentucky wins.
They turn the ball over a lot. So just force them to turn the ball over, and you should be fine because that leads to easy points.
13.3 turnovers per game is rough. So they do turn it over a lot. They're not quite as good of a rebounding team. Florida averaged, I believe, 45 rebounds per game. Let me check on that for you. 5 seconds. Yes, they averaged 45 rebounds per game to Georgia averages 39. So they're an okay rebounding basketball team, but they aren't as good as Florida. So I don't think that concern is going to be quite as substantial. We actually average about 2.4 rebounds more a game than they do. We need to do like against A&M. This will be a concern again here in a few days.
Yeah.
Right now, just go in. It's not going to be a way you lose this game, I don't think. No. So Carson, I went first last game. You go first this time. Give me a score prediction. Give me an MVP, and I'll do the same.
Yeah, I got us 95-83, and I'm going to give the MVP. I think Jackson Robinson plays well in the first road SEC game.
I'm not going to pick Jackson because I don't want to pick what you're going to pick. I wasn't going to anyway. But that'd be great if he was. Like, it'd be really good if he could be the MVP for us in this game. Georgia's a team, they only average about 80 points per game, which sounds like, well, I mean, that's not a terrible number, but you got to remember that's coming out of non-conference play where you should be winning a lot of games by wide margins. Mm-hmm. I think that we're going to win this game something like 83 79. Or no, sorry, 69-83. I think we win this game by about 14 points. And
That's nice.
it's a good score. It's a good win. But so I think we win it about right. Is that my math right on that? 83,
Yeah, 14.
69, 14 points. Yeah. I think that's around where we win it because I don't think they're going to score more. I mean, if they put up 80 points, I wouldn't be shocked, but I think we're going to have a better defensive showing.
Yeah,
And I
you're
still
probably
think we're
right.
just an elite offensive team. My MVP, I think, did you say Amari last game?
Yeah, I think I did.
I'm going to take Amari in this one. I think.
Oh no, I took Ortega. I took Ortega because I
Ortega?
thought he could match up with the Dogs, and he did.
And he did. Yes, good point. But yes, that you did. That is what happened. I'm going to take Amari. I think slowing their really good, opposing big, whether it's him or Carr on him, he'll draw the assignment some. So would love to see that. Want to see him be physical. Want to see him rebound the ball and continue to pass it well, score around the rim. He had some physical baskets, and I loved that. And
you see him go up and try to dunk the ball?
Yes.
I loved it. I don't care that he got blocked. I don't care.
No, I don't either.
Half the time that's a foul, half the time it's a dunk, and the 2% time it's blocked.
But that's why I love it. I don't care that he made. I don't care about any of it. The fact that he attempted to do it is everything that I care about.
I agree.
It shows that he is willing to be physical, and that gets me fired up. I was very excited
to
see him try and hammer that thing down, even though obviously didn't quite pan out. But it was still great to see him even make the attempt. So I think Amari plays well as the Cats get the win over the Dogs in Athens, which, by the way, how the hell did they even get out of here?
I don't know.
Did they? Yeah, they are gone, right?
I would assume so, but I haven't had any confirmation. They haven't posted anything about it.
If they were stuck here, we would have known something by now. But that's just crazy. I wonder when they left. They must have had to have left on Sunday early or something.
Mm-hmm. They probably avoided it.
One thing, I haven't left.
No,
I'll tell you that with confidence.
I haven't left.
Yeah. I mean, my car is in like that deep in snow right now. It's like, golly. So hope everyone stays safe in the snow and staying off the roads unless you have to, because it's rough out there. We just tried to move Connor's car. And he backed it up. And now we can't move it anymore. I don't know why he decided he wanted to see if he could leave. And he backed his car up, so now it's just stuck in the middle of our road, which is pretty funny. And then Mike and I tried to push it, and we couldn't get it to go anywhere. But don't go down our street in Beaumont because you'll hit Connor's car in the middle of the road. So it'd be
y'all or something else.
Not y'all. It's he's a moron. Okay, ain't on me. Yeah, not that one ain't on me. I was trying everything I could do to push that thing back in there. That's going to do it for us today, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate y'all stopping in, keeping that subscribe button. We're getting really close to 2K. Help us get there. That's our goal right now, is to get 2,000. Big ball game tomorrow. We will be back with y'all later in the week to break down Saturday's game. So fired up about that. Hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Big game tomorrow. Go Cats. We'll see you next time.